Hello there. This is Sunday. It's February 14th, and we are heading into week 6 of our online astronomy course. Hope you're all doing well. This is going to be an exciting week because this week on Thursday, the Mars rover Perseverance is going to be lowered onto the surface of Mars. And I'm really excited about it. I think you will be too. And here behind me, you can see the Perseverance rover. And I'm going to move to the side to get out of the way. There we go. Show you the rover a little bit more. It's about the size of a golf cart. And it is going to drill down into the Martian soil and extract a tube of soil. And it's going to cap off that tube and leave it on the Martian surface for a future mission to pick up. And so for the first time, this is the beginning of a soil return, a sample return mission from Mars. That's really, really exciting. Also, on the Perseverance rover, there is a little helicopter, sort of like a drone, that's going to fly over the Martian surface and scout ahead to pick sites for Perseverance to look at. So it's an exciting time. It's a risky mission, to be sure, and it is scheduled to touch down around 2 p.m. Thursday, Utah time. And so you can see some of those little tubes here. If I just move aside a little bit, you can see some of those tubes lying on the surface that are going to be picked up by a future mission. It is a risky mission, and the way that the Perseverance rover is put on the Martian surface is nothing short of amazing. So the mission started back on July 30th, and that's when it was launched. And right now it's been traveling in space ever since. It's going 48,000 miles per hour, and it's about 98.5% of the way to Mars. So let me show you a little bit about how this landing sequence goes. So I'm going to share the screen here with a video that shows the landing sequence, and I will narrate that. So here it is. It's February 18th. We're looking from Mars toward the approaching Perseverance lander. And here it comes at 48,000 miles per hour. It gets past us pretty quickly. Zoop. Heading toward Mars. It's going to eject the part of the spacecraft that covered it since its launch from Earth. And now it's heading into Mars' atmosphere. It's going to use the atmosphere to slow it down. It has a heat shield on the front of it that gets very, very hot, but that slows the spacecraft down. Mars doesn't have much atmosphere. Here is the Perseverance rover that's inside the lander, and we're headed toward that crater on Mars. You can see little steering jets steering it toward the landing spot. A parachute pops out, and the lander is descending toward Mars. But you can see the parachute's still going fairly fast. It's going down fast and sideways fast, and it wouldn't be safe to try to land the rover down on the surface. And so what happens is that the heat shield is ejected, and then the lander is released. The rockets fire, and now that lander's in powered flight, carrying the rover underneath it. Now, it's using radar to look for a safe landing spot, but it can't carry the rover all the way down to the surface because these jets would kick up too much dust and it would be dangerous to the mission. So it's approaching the surface, and as it does that, a sky crane maneuver begins. The rover is lowered down. The cables are cut. The lander flies away, leaving Perseverance safely on the Martian surface. We hope, and I have my fingers crossed, both fingers crossed, that this will go away. And what's really amazing is that all this has to be automated because it takes 11 minutes and 22 seconds for a signal to travel from Earth to Mars. And that means that you can't just, drive the lander to the right spot because there's this time lag of over 11 minutes. And so it all has to be automated. Computers seek out the best landing spot, choose it, and determine how high it is and lower the rover down to the surface. Just an amazing feat. It's only been tried once before, and it worked then. That's how Opportunity, the previous rover, got to the surface. And so I'm going to be watching on Thursday, on the 18th. And I've put a link so you can watch too. In fact, I've put two links. One is to the official NASA site. Coverage there starts at 11:15. And that's, again, Utah time. And you can learn all sorts of interesting things about the rover and follow its progress as it lands. Of course, as we watch here on Earth, the progress toward landing, it will have already either landed or crashed 11 minutes ago. So, a lot of tension in the air in that control room. Also, I've put a link to a Weber State party to watch. It's a watch party for Perseverance, and you can give that a try if you'd like to. So that's coming up this week. And what else is going on? Well, there's Module 6. And Module 6 is about several things, and one of them is the moon. And I still love just to go outside and look up in a clear sky and see the moon hanging there. And I think about this huge ball of rock that's orbiting Earth. And I'm just astounded to think that there were people standing on that moon. And we've learned a lot about the moon from the Apollo missions. Those were back in the end of the 1960s, early 70s. And I've posted a link to a video that I want you to watch. It's, I think, the very best video about the Apollo lunar landings. It's called Apollo 16, Nothing So Hidden. And I think it's really worth watching. It's 28 minutes long. So please do watch that. And I hope that sometime in this decade, during the 1920s, there might be, once again, people, men and women, walking around on the surface of the moon. Wouldn't that be amazing? So it's about the moon, and we've learned a lot from those Apollo missions. They've brought back, a lot of rock samples, and from that we've learned a lot about the moon's history. Of the four inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Earth is the only one that has a substantial moon. Mars has a couple little captured asteroids, but Earth is the only one that has a substantial moon. And so the question is, why? Where did the moon come from? And you'll learn what we know so far about that. Also, in Module 6, you'll learn about the history of our solar system. Where did our solar system come from? If you came to our region of space about 5 billion years ago, you would just see a big cloud of gas and dust. And that cloud of gas and dust began to collapse gravitationally to form our star, the sun, and the planets, and everything else that's in our solar system. And so you'll learn how all that happened. Also, today we know about lots of other planetary systems. We know about lots of other exoplanets. In fact, as of today, we know about 4,143 exoplanets, other planets circling other stars. And you'll learn about how we discovered those. And a couple of those, very few, are twins of Earth. They're about the same size, the same temperature. And you'll learn about where they are. So I hope you will take a look, watch about the Mars rover landing on the surface of the planet. And that night, on the 18th, maybe you can go outside. And as you go outside, you can look up in the sky. And this is what you'll see. It's about 8 o'clock at night here. And you're looking to the southwest. I'm going to look a little bit higher in the sky. You'll see the moon. It's a day before the first quarter moon. The first quarter moon is on the 19th. This is on the 18th. There is the moon, but if you want to, you can see the Mars near the moon. It's just to the right and slightly above the moon. And you can think, looking at Mars, that today you saw, I hope, fingers crossed, you saw the Perseverance rover being landed onto the surface of Mars. Up above Mars, you can see the star cluster, the Pleiades. And over to the left of that, you see the red giant star Aldebaran and the very loosely bound Hyades star cluster. So, a lot to see this week. I'm excited about it. I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope the landing is successful, and if it is, I'll be modifying Module 7, which is the week after next. And that's the module that's about Mars, and I'll be putting in some of the details and some of the things that happened about the landing and since the landing, because by then we should have pictures from Perseverance. So until then, I hope you have a great week, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week. So until then, bye-bye.